This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day this Memorial Day weekend. I'm Papa Paul, your host, and I'm going to bring on my co-host, Dolphin Winners. How you doing, my brother, Dolphin Winners?
What's going on, Papa Paul? What's going on, everybody that's watching? Thank you for joining us on a Saturday holiday afternoon. Man, listen, brother, you know the grind never stops. You know the Dolphins news is always going, but it's slow motion this holiday weekend, but it's good to sit there and see you, brother.
You too, my brother. I can't wait to see you again down at the game. I want to shout out and just thank all our veterans who have given all, and even those that have just fought for us. But it's Memorial Day is more about the people who gave all. So just a few seconds of silence, and then we'll get to it. Okay, thank you, everybody, really. Today, we're going to start off and take a look at this little video where they're talking about should Tua step on the field week one if he does not have a deal in place yet.
NFL, you the person to talk to. Should Tua play week one when the season kicks off if he's yet to sign a new long-term deal?
Should play week one?
Yes, sir.
Nah. Shouldn't play, and I don't think he should even play with like OTAs and all that. I wouldn't do none of that type of stuff without a contract. Now, I will say this though about Tua. I mean, he has to be very careful with this thing because I think he's a good quarterback, but we can't forget where he came from. Before McDaniels and before Tyreek Hill and Waddle and all these guys came, right? I was there watching. Like everybody thought he was regular, right? They didn't think he was that good. Am I tripping?
Not at all,
right? Joel, you a Dolphins fan?
They tried to trade him multiple times.
I mean, all the time. So, like, nobody really thought he was that good. So, my thing is, don't overdo it. That's all I'm saying, right? I get it. Get your money, because I would tell every player, teammate, whoever it is, get your money first, because I know it's a sport, but this is a business, and this is our business. And you should get his money first, but also just remind yourself, bro, you're a good quarterback. You're playing well. Haven't done a lot, really, right? Had some good moments, but hasn't done a lot. And you've been up and down with the health. I'm just speaking this honest, right? So I just think that he should probably get his money, but don't fight that thing too much because we know where you came from. And you don't want the coaches to say, you know what, let's go out there and get a quarterback that we don't think is as good, but he'd be good in our scheme, the same way they did the same thing with Tua.
So you're saying don't fight for too much money?
Yeah, I mean, why would you though, right? I mean, like, sometimes in contracts, it's like always the small little things that you be wanting, right? I remember my contracts, all my few times I was up, and I want to be paid more than this guy, right? And Aaron Foster at the time had the highest contract. Adrian Peterson, I was going to jump that, but at the time it was Adrian Foster, and I wanted more money than him. I said, I'm better, this and third, I'm younger. I was drafted second round, he was undrafted, and they made me pay higher than him by like $800,000. You get what I'm saying? But we were arguing for like 2 weeks about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, all right, just give me that. So, like, because it's all about, I guess, the competitive nature of the game. I make more money than you, and et cetera.
Agent-wise, too.
I'm just saying, with Tua, you're a good quarterback. I don't think you're super special. And it's not my words. This is what you was before McDaniels and Tyreek Hill and Waddle came there. That's what it is.
Yeah, he has to get his money. I don't think he's wired for a full ruckus over his contract, like Shady said. I mean, he's very aware of the injury history. He's already had 2 moments in his career where we didn't even know if he was going to continue playing. He had the hip injury in college, which was devastating.
I forgot about that.
So we weren't even sure. I mean, he was probably going to go number 1 before that happened.
Right.
So that happened. We didn't know if he was going to play football again. Comes back from that. Then he has all the concussion situations, which is very concerning.
The hand.
I have the whole list here. It's long. So he's very aware of how quickly things can change when it comes to his body, and so are the Dolphins. So I do think that however this contract ends up looking, even if it is the highest paid for 5 minutes or whatever it is, they're going to have a lot of provisions in there for injuries. So that part, I think that's fair. They have to protect themselves as an organization as well. But he does have a lot of things on his side. If the agent's walking in there, he has the second highest winning percentage of anyone drafted in the class of 2020, which is a really good draft class. Of the 31 quarterbacks with 30 starts since 2020, he ranks top 10 in winning percentage, passer rating, completion percentage, passing yards per attempt. They've had back-to-back playoff appearances for the first time in 20 years. Like, he has a lot on his side when it comes to statistics, when it comes to production, and when it comes to team wins. Now, they haven't had the success in the postseason, but putting them in position to get into the postseason, and then last year being healthy and playing in the postseason, that matters, especially for the Miami Dolphins. I'm telling you, this team has been without a franchise quarterback for a very, very long time. That matters for branding. It matters for the city. It matters for the morale of the team. And the team is built around Tua. So I'm with Shady. I don't think it gets too sticky, because he does have a lot of things that they can point to that are question marks. But in the end, I do think that they get a deal done, and I don't think he should play week 1 if it's not.
Do you think do you think he's a system quarterback?
I think yes, but I don't look at that as a negative thing. I think he's somebody that can definitely make plays. I don't think he is a fully a system quarterback in that he's not going to go out there and make something special happen. But I think that he is somebody who obviously needs pieces around him. But you could say that about a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of franchise quarterbacks.
Well, I said it's because, like, if I was the GM or the owner, I would say, well, what were you before we brought you all this stuff here? Because I know quarterback, like, for example, like Josh Allen, he got way, way better when he got Stephon Diggs. But, I mean, he was still good before.
They look totally different.
No, I know what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, like, there's certain quarterbacks where I could drop in that system and they gonna look damn good.
But Josh Allen took, as you know, a major step up in development from year 1 to year 2, and then we saw the raw talent. You have guys like Jalen Hurts, you have guys like Brock Purdy. Like, there are guys that can be successful that aren't necessarily the physical type that we always want to see in a quarterback. I don't think that matters as much. And again, I think it depends on the team. Like, that's why I said that about Trevor Lawrence yesterday. That's why I say that about Tua. You have to consider the history of the team. How long have they been without a franchise quarterback? How long has it been since they've been in the position to be winning consistently, to be in the conversation for winning the division, let alone going to the playoffs? Like, all that stuff matters.
But what factor does patience have in all of this? I think about the 49ers, doing this off the top of my head, so there may be glaring omissions, if you will. The 49ers were, to some degree, in search for a quarterback, especially after Colin Kaepernick. And to some degree, while they had Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah.
Blaine Gabbert ended up starting the last era of Chip Kelly. That was the 2016 season. The 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl. I believe they went to a conference championship game. But the 49ers said, Jimmy G, you're good, but you're not good enough. Draft Trey Lance. Trey Lance, they realized, as it pertains to his competency of his process around the football field, as of right now at least, not good enough. Move on Brock Purdy. Joy, at what point in time is good for the Dolphins not good enough? Because as I'm looking at the Dolphins, I say to myself, McDaniel's a great coach. Tyreek Hill's a top 5 player. Jalen Waddle is an excellent number 2 receiver. Now you have Odell Beckham as a number 3 receiver. You still have Jalen Ramsey back there at the back end.
The running
You got the running backs. Raheem Mostert just had a career year, 20-plus touchdowns, if I am not mistaken. Not to mention Devon Achane out of Texas A&M, a 3rd-round pick. At what point are you no longer satiated as a Dolphins fan with making the playoffs? You've done it 2 years in a row. At what point are you like, okay, cool, we've made the playoffs. I mean, we can't just keep making the playoffs and losing.
The Dolphins made the playoffs 5 straight times, 1997 to 2001. We know who was there then. That was the last time that happened. 2022 and 2023 were the first back-to-back playoff appearances for the Dolphins in 20 years.
So
they have the longest playoff win droughts in the NFL.
I'm asking you ignorantly. I'm not asking you explosively. Are you content with that?
I'm very content with making the playoffs back-to-back years. The Jets would be content with making the playoffs back-to-back years. Before they had Aaron Rodgers, they'd be very content with making the making the playoffs back-to-back years. I understand what you're saying. You need to progress, but you have a better chance of progressing without Tua or with Tua.
I think with Tua, obviously.
Yeah. And the question is, if you think that Tua is your franchise guy, which is always the question, the sooner you pay them, the cheaper they are, the more flexibility you have. We always panic about these contracts, and if it doesn't end up working out,
back at all his 3rd year there.
Contracts, and if it doesn't end up working out, you know what ends up happening? They move on. They trade them. They recover. It's not the end of the world. We act like these are 10-year contracts. They're really not.
Yeah, this
Cut it,
quarterback
Paul,
money
cut it.
and how they are paying.
I think we got hit because it says stream unavailable for policy violations. So my stream, I think my stream, that's what my stream just said. So I'm not sure because it definitely just went off. So we might have played a little bit too long. So we got to be aware of that.
Okay, something that's on YouTube. Something I did not know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm restreaming. I'm okay, but we're still on everything else.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, get to the conversation and your feelings on the matter at hand.
I agree with him in some ways, but it's hard to say. I think no matter what, he should be at the OTAs playing. He should be participating in practice and all that because he wants to be part of the team. He doesn't want to act like he's not going to be part of the team if he doesn't get what he wants and stuff. Right. He wants, that's my opinion. So
I mean, I tell people this, and I'm going to continue to say this. I believe a deal's going to get done. I believe that Tua's going to get paid. My feelings on it is, if you sit there, you pay him, you have to put in